Sorry, that was a long walk. Well, it turns out if you show up and you run your mouth enough times, eventually they give you fancy titles like Keynote. Never been keynote speaker before, I don't think. You know what I want to talk about is the moment that we're in. I'm not currently running for an office, so I'm not going to advertise for myself and tell you all the great works that I plan to do and all the important work that needs done. Because I doubt that I would find a lot of arguments with people in this room about the steps we need to take to build a better world for ourselves, for our children, for the future. But what I want to do instead is take a moment to give you some hope. And I'm going to tell you about myself, some things you might not know, some things that will definitively surprise you. Not this part. I grew up really poor. Really. In a little town called Gloucester, Ohio, out in Athens, County. If you know Gloucester, you know what my life looked like. It wasn't great. But I did have the one thing that mattered more than anything else. A mother that taught me that I was profoundly loved by another human being. And though things were hard through most of my life, that was the one anchor that I always had. I grew up with my extended family, very involved in the church. And I went to church camps and things like that. And there was a point in my life when you would have called me what is now considered a Christian nationalist. Yeah, I heard that. And the reason I tell you this right now is because we live in a world that seems incapable of change, incapable of growth. But I will tell you from personal experience that we can become better than we were. I've done it. I've been there. Grew up in a place very secluded, very in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by people who look like me and talk like me and think like me, and I never had to question my own mind, my own system of belief. The big change for me happened when I joined the military. I saw a world that didn't look like me and sound like me and believe like me. I traveled the world. I met other people from other cultures, and I became a different person. Not because of the old trope of boot camp tearing me down and turning me into a better man, but because I saw a world that wasn't mine. People can change. In the face of hardship, in the face of change, but also in the face of goodness. When you teach a person that their neighbor cares about them, that they want to lift them up from the place that they are, that they want to help them become a better person, they will strive to be better, simply by being surrounded by better people. But what we face right now feels unprecedented. We are surrounded by people that are angry, that seem evil, that confuse the shit out of me. But what we face now is the relentlessness of evil men. And in the face of that, the answer is that we must too become relentless. In the face of the lack of justice, we must work towards something better. I wake up every morning not afraid for myself. I think very little of myself. What I worry about is the future for my son, who talks about one day wanting to have kids of his own. He's only 10 years old. I want that for him. I want a world where he wakes up safe and doesn't worry about the government coming to take his rights, doesn't worry about the military in the cities, doesn't worry about immigrants coming to murder everybody or whatever kind of bullshit we want to make up next time, to make people more afraid, to make people fall in line. What we want to do is build a better world by spreading real information. We must too be relentless. It's easy to sit down and be afraid. It's easy to fall apart in the face of adversity. But that doesn't change the world. That doesn't change the future. It doesn't make tomorrow better than today. So if my life can be a lesson for anyone, it's that change is possible. And in the face of goodness, when presented with better alternatives, it's not only possible, but probable that you can change your life. That you can. When I come to places like Guernsey County, I live over in Delaware now. Democrats lost Delaware County too, but it's a little closer than Guernsey. But I love coming here to the places that make me feel like I'm home. I talk to people like Bob, who's like I love coming here because Bob is so damn smart. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, I learned something every time I talk to Bob. And we can get people like Bob, like Laura London, Brian, and Jason. I imagine a world where in the past I was as dedicated to the future as Jason is now at his age. Man, what kind of man I could have become. But instead, most of my life I was apolitical. I got out of the military, I just found random things to do because that's what you do, right? You look for a job, you try to buy a house, you try to have a kid, you try to have a good life. But sometimes things get in the way of that. And I'll tell you why I ran for office, in case you don't know. It's because every morning for years, I woke up, I rolled over, I picked my phone up off my stand, and I read the news. And I got sad. And I got angry, and I got scared for my son's future. Every single morning, same story. And I would roll over and I would say, Jessica, here's all the bad things I just learned. And I just spread that misery. Because that's what people do. Misery doesn't love company. And so one day, October 3rd of 2023, I woke up, picked up my phone, I read the news, and I don't remember what was in it. I don't know what article I read. But instead of getting angry and sad and scared for Sean's future, I rolled over to Jessica and I said, I'm going to run for Congress. And she said, okay. And that day, I figured out what it took. I filled out my FEC paperwork and I started raising money. I had no idea what I was doing. None. But what I was doing for myself is I was looking for hope. Because I was in such a bad place. And what I found was other people that felt the same way I did. I thought I was out here alone, struggling, worrying about the world. But it turns out that people were out there doing the work while I was sitting there just nervous. And in the spirit of being relentless, we must also be loud. Not only about the things that we need, but the things that we've done, the things we've accomplished, the greatness that we can achieve together. And in the words of Brian, the things we cannot achieve alone. I don't think he's in here. I came here completely unprepared to speak because I forgot to speak. But but it doesn't matter if I prepare for hours and hours and hours and I look up things to say. What matters is the passion and the care that each of us bring to every situation that we walk into. We are not alone. And as frightening as the world can be, it's your choice whether to fall or to rise because of that fear. You can allow it to make you less, or you can allow it to make you more. And I, for one, have become relentless. Because that is how I change the world. And that is how you change. And that is my expectation for everyone in this room and everyone in this state, everyone that I know and every stranger I meet on the street, is that you care enough to drive change in a positive way. And if you don't, get the hell out of the way. I won't keep you here. I won't keep you here listening to me drone on. But the one thing that I want to say is thank you for Sean. Thank you for being the people you are and giving me the hope that I was searching for in the time that I needed the most. Because it is the people in this room and the people that I met on the journey that I made that has helped me become a better man than I was when I started. I wouldn't be standing here right now if I had stood up and walked into meetings and just been shunned or ignored or not taken seriously. We have to find people and lift them up and help them become better people so that they can help us become better people. So thank you all for being the people that you are, being in the places that you are, doing the things that you do. It matters far more than you know. You have changed my life, and I hope that that will lead to a world in which I can help change it. Thank you.